There is such a difference between chasing and pursuing. When a man's chasing you, that is parallel to being persistent. When a man is pursuing you, that's parallel to being consistent. The energy is so fucking different, it's actually crazy. First of all, once you get to a point of self-love, the chasing and the persistent is fucking annoying. So annoying. Because that's more of a disrespect to your boundaries. Whereas consistent it's a way different energy. It's way more laid back. It's way more calm, but it is consistent because that's their character. The persistent one is more of a personality thing. One is more surface level, it is more ego driven. The other is more soul driven. It's who they are at their core, and they're respectful about it. So different. The one who is persistent 9 times out of 10 is not trustworthy. And they're also probably doing that with a lot of other people because it's more of like a dopamine high kind of an energy. It's like someone constantly poking you on your side, or like a little kid like tugging at you. It's fucking annoying. And like I said, once you get to a certain point of self-love, you're not going to want anything to do with it. Versus the one that is just very calming in his energy. It's very laid back. He consistently does certain things. It's consistent over a span of time because it's genuine. And it's way more trustworthy because it's genuine. It has more depth. It's not about them stroking their ego. It's way calmer. Know the difference.
Yeah. She's talking some good stuff right here. Of course, she's talking from a female point of view. So there's always going to be a little bit of bullshit in there. And it is what it is. I mean, it's the best she can do. She's a female. She can only speak from her perspective. So let me give you the masculine identity perspective on this. So basically, she's trying to let you know that there's a difference between being persistent and consistent, right? And here at the Masculine Identity Membership, we always talk about the importance of consistency. Consistency has to do with your character. Consistency has to do with you knowing who you are and responding in kind, right? And what she's trying to illustrate here is persistence a lot of times has to do with desperation. Persistence is a part of ego, right? Because when you're persistent, you're trying to accomplish something so you can feel good, so you can feel a certain way about the situation, right? Persistence has a certain level of desperation in it. Right. So it may not have anything to do with your identity, your masculine identity, your character. It may have something to do with your seeking validation. It may have something to do with how you look at yourself, meaning that the persistence that you put into trying to accomplish something ends up affecting how you see yourself. Where with consistency, how you see yourself dictates the energy that you put into trying to achieve something. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like a reverse. It's kind of like a flip. So in the Oxford Language Dictionary, it says persistent means continuing firmly or obstinately in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. The Oxford Language Dictionary defines consistent as acting or done in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair or accurate, unchanging in nature, a standard or effect over time, compatible or in agreement with. OK, so if you listen to the definitions of both words, right, persistence is just doing something over a long period of time. But consistency has more to do with doing something over a long period of time in a certain way, meaning there's more discrimination, right? There's more of detail surrounding with not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And if how you're doing it, in this case, how you're doing it has to pertain with your masculine identity. See, being persistent is good because it means you're going to keep trying no matter what, right? But being consistent is even better because you're going to keep trying, but you're going to keep trying in congruence with your masculine identity, meaning that you're not going to do anything that's going to take you out of your character. You understand? Meaning you're not going to do anything that is outside of your masculine identity. You understand? So the thing is, you're going to maintain your integrity. You're going to maintain a certain personal touch in how you accomplish something. Because as men, we're all going to reach whatever destination we're trying to reach. But the important part is how we get there. Right? A lot of us want to be rich. Some of us are going to work hard and create value within ourselves and get people to bestow value upon us because of the value we hold within. And some people are going to rob banks. You see what I'm saying? Some people are going to scam credit cards. Right. But what matters is how. Now, if you are of the former, chances are the riches and value that you receive are going to be received more abundantly and more righteously. If you're a part of the latter, then you might end up going to jail. right? You might get to live the lifestyle of a person who's rich for a moment, but once the law catches up with you, you might end up going to jail because there's consequences for your actions. So how matters. See, persistence doesn't care how, but consistency cares how, because how speaks to your masculine identity. So it's very important that you do things a certain way according to who you are as a man, i.e., your masculine identity. Another thing we need to take into consideration in this argument is that consistency shows you who is most important in the situation. So especially when we're talking about dating or relationships, right? Being consistent puts you as the primary focus. Okay. Consistency always puts you as the primary focus. Because, like I said, in the definition, consistency is doing something a certain way over a long period of time. But persistence is just doing the same thing again and again and again over a long period of time. It doesn't matter what you do. You understand? You're just being persistent. So here's the thing. In the arena of dating, persistence and chasing means that you're willing to go after the same girl again and again and again and again. Hopefully she'll change her mind. Hopefully she says yes. Hopefully she grows on you. Hopefully you get out of the friend zone. That's being persistent, right? But consistency means that you are chasing an overall result that speaks to your masculine identity. So what do I mean? When you're consistent, you don't have to chase the same woman over and over and over again. When you're consistent, you are looking for a certain type of woman. So when you're being consistent, when you meet a woman and you engage with her, if you don't recognize the qualities that you desire in the woman that speaks to your identity, your masculine identity, then you'll stop talking to her right away. You won't bother to continue pursuing her. You won't be persistent about trying to get that one particular girl because she doesn't exhibit the behaviors that your masculine identity requires. You see what I'm saying? So you'll be consistent, but you'll continue your consistency with other women, right? Where you'll end up playing more of the numbers game and you'll find yourself in environments that are conducive to women who speak to your masculine identity. So you'll be consistent and you will find the best result for you in another woman from someplace else, from some other situation. You understand? But the guy that's persistent, he'll see that one chick with the fat ass or whatever it is, and he'll keep pursuing her. And no matter how many times she tells him no or puts him in the friend zone, he'll just keep pursuing her because he doesn't have a masculine identity to say to himself, well, she's not behaving like the type of woman that I want anyway. So let me just cut this short and then move on to someone else. Because here's the thing, when we talk about the difference between chasing a woman and being consistent with our masculine identity, what we require from the woman is more important than the woman herself. I'm going to say that again. When we are focused on our masculine identity and who we are as a man, what we require from the woman is more important than the woman herself. So that means if I see a woman that I find attractive and then I speak to her and I realize that her behavior is not conducive to what I require as a man, I will stop talking to her and go try to find what I'm looking for in another woman. And I'll have the faith and the abundant mindset to do that again and again and again, as many times as I have to, in order to find what it is I'm truly looking for. Because again, what I'm looking for from a woman is more important than the woman herself. Okay, so I'm willing to play the numbers game. I'm willing to go on dates. I'm willing to go out and meet woman after woman after woman until I find what I'm looking for based on my masculine identity. I'm not going to let any one singular woman be more important than what I truly require from a woman just because she's highly attractive, just because she has a fat ass, just because she's physically the archetype of what I like, just because she looked like an Instagram model or some nonsense like that. No, she has to show the behaviors that I require, and then she can be worthy for me to continue with. But if she's not showing the behaviors, then I'll cut it short. Hey, have a good night. Nice meeting you. No problem. And we'll move on to another woman, because what I'm looking for has to be consistent with my masculine identity. And what I'm looking for from the woman, what I require from the woman, is more important than the woman herself. Okay, so if I'm talking to this chick and she bad as hell, she's a baddie, she look good, she's a Miami 10, right? I am not afraid to tell her good night and go speak to someone else, because as good as she looks, she doesn't have what I need. She doesn't have what I require. what's going on with her isn't speaking to my masculine identity. So it doesn't make any more sense for me to chase her or be persistent with her. You understand? I have to be consistent with my masculine identity and find what I'm looking for somewhere else. Because again, what I am looking for in the woman is more important than the woman herself. Okay? So we have to understand the difference between chasing and being consistent in who we are as men in order to find what we truly require from the woman. You get what I'm saying? All right, guys? So it's your boy, Miles Cunningham. Hope you got something from this video. Hope you're having a great day. Be good to yourself. Be grateful. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.